Hey everybody, it's Scooby here. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make your very own fireworks in a jar. So before we get into it, I'm going to go through all of the different materials that you are going to need. So the first thing you're going to need is an empty, clear glass jar. You are going to need some vegetable oil. You will also need a measuring cup to measure out your oil. You will also need some food coloring. So I've just got 4 colors here. You will need a bowl to put your oil and your droplets of food coloring into. You will also need a fork to stir the mixture around a little bit. And finally, you will need gloves. I'm just using gloves because the last time I tried this, I got food coloring all over my hands, and I just want to kind of contain the mess a bit. So we are going to be using gloves. Oh, also forgot to mention water. You need water to put in your jar as well. So I am going to go ahead and fill up my water probably about to there. I'm going to go ahead and go do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got my water. I filled it a little bit more than I said because I realized that we're going to need to add oil, and we want to see the fireworks come through. So we want there to be enough water so that the food coloring will slowly start to settle, and you'll be able to see that firework effect for a lot longer. So we've got our water in our jar. We can set that to the side. Next, I'm going to put my gloves on. Got 1 and 2. It's also going to help with the oil because it is pretty greasy, and it saves you from having to wash your hands a lot. Okay, so we are going to take our vegetable oil, take off the lid. If you are, I would just suggest having adult supervision with you because there are different steps to this. You may need some help. So it's never a bad idea to ask a parent, sibling, someone hanging around the house if they could help you out. I'm sure that they would love to do that. So back to it. We're going to pour out our vegetable oil. I'm going to be using half a cup. Now I'm not going to fill it all the way. I'm probably going to fill the half cup about halfway because we want a nice thin layer of vegetable oil on the top of our jar. So I'm going to stand up, move this to the side, let me move this down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's get set up. Oops. Move that fork. Gotta grab that. Okay. Got this. Since it's a really heavy container, I would suggest getting some help because it is pretty heavy. So, let me move this back a little bit so you can see. There we go. Okay, I'm going to fill it. Hopefully you don't spill anything. Just taking your time. And you also may notice that I put down a little garbage bag to help contain the mess as well because it can get a little bit messy and it just really helps with the cleanup afterwards. Okay, so we can set our oil to the side. So I've got my oil in my cup, as you can see. So we're going to take that bowl I was talking about. We're going to set it down. We're going to add our oil into that little bowl. Okay. And next, what we're going to do is we're going to take our food coloring and we are going to add probably in total, I wouldn't say any more than 15 drops because like I said, I did do a pre-test on this and I found that if you added a lot of food coloring to the oil, when the firework effect starts, it sort of just becomes one big cloudy brown mess. So you want to make sure that you're using, I would say at most 15 drops, just so that you don't get that effect. You want to be able to see the fireworks spiraling down. So I think for this one, I'm going to go with some yellow. I'm going to add probably about 4 drops of yellow. And you can move it around however you please. It all doesn't have to be in the middle. You can put some on the outside like I'm doing. And I'll show you what it looks like before I start stirring it. So we've got our yellow. Maybe I'm going to add some red. Okay, so I've got 8 drops in there. I'm also going to add blue, I think will look pretty cool. Okay. So I've got about 12 drops in there. I'm now going to take my fork. Before I do that, I'm going to show you. So that's what it looks like. They're all just kind of floating in the oil. Okay, so I'm going to take my fork and I'm just going to gently, very, very gently, just move them around, trying to break them up a little bit more into smaller droplets. Because once we do that, it'll help to make cool firework effects. Okay, so I think that looks good. That is what it's looking like. We can see that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my jar. Move the camera up a little bit. Okay. And then you're going to take your oil mixture here. And you're just going to carefully, slowly start pouring it in. And then you're just going to watch as the food coloring starts to drop through the oil into the water. So I'm going to move this forward so you can see it better. Right there. Okay, so see, we're starting to get that cool firework effect. All dropping in nice and slow. Ooh, look at that one over there. It's pretty cool. Move my arm out of the way so you can see it better. The purpose of this experiment is to understand that food coloring will mix with water, but not oil. So what's the reason? Traditional food coloring is water-based, but we're still left with one question. Why won't water and oil mix together? It all comes down to density, which is how much space a substance or object takes up. Oil is less dense, which causes it to settle on top of the water. The food coloring is denser than the oil, therefore it falls through and mixes into the water. Thank you so much for watching. We would love to see your own fireworks in a jar, so please feel free to upload your photos to social media, tag us on Facebook and Instagram at Greenway Chaplain so we can see your experiments.